It can only be described as the start of a massive, much larger than expected purge at the FBI of FBI agents and officials. Many of them, in one way or another, touched the investigations into Donald Trump. Sources telling NBC News this: the Office of Acting Deputy Attorney General Emil Bove asked the FBI for a list of Bureau employees involved in January 6 cases, sparking panic inside the Bureau by people who fear retribution by the Trump administration amidst an ongoing purge of FBI leadership. Meanwhile, my colleague, NBC's Ken Delanian, reports that several top FBI executives were told to resign or be fired, and that the purge includes more than 20 heads of FBI field offices, including those in Miami and Washington, D.C.
The ratings for MSNBC: Morning Joe down 39.6, Andrea Mitchell down 39.7, Ari Melber down 49.6, Joy Reid down 54.6.
Breaking news: more than 20 heads of FBI field offices have been ordered to retire or be fired today, including the leaders of the Bureau's field offices in Miami and Washington, D.C. NBC News is reporting this, but beyond just DOJ leadership, Donald Trump's Justice Department started purging rank-and-file prosecutors who brought violent January 6 rioters to justice. Their termination letter quoted Trump's comments that the cases represented, quote, a grave national injustice, end quote. At least 174 of the nearly 1,600 rioters whose cases or sentences Trump terminated had been charged with assaulting police with dangerous weapons. The acting Deputy Attorney General, Emil Bove, who served as Trump's personal criminal defense attorney, sent a memo to Justice Department leaders ordering the purge of January 6 prosecutors, revealing that the former president, Biden, gave these prosecutors permanent status following Trump's election. In his memo, Bove called their employment subversive. They're federal prosecutors.
Lawrence O'Donnell down 60.6. Stephanie Ruhle, the big winner, down 67% in ratings.
On another piece of breaking news tonight here in the nation's capital, where the Trump administration has conducted an unprecedented purge at the top levels of the FBI. Unprecedented. Administration officials have forced out all 6 of the FBI's most senior executives and multiple heads of various FBI field offices across the country, according to current and former FBI officials who spoke with NBC News. This is hostile takeover of federal law enforcement. There's no other way to call it. Included the high-profile leader of the Washington, D.C. field office, which was involved in the prosecutions of President Donald Trump. The Department of Justice also fired multiple federal prosecutors who conducted the criminal investigation of January 6 rioters, according to sources.
Do you honestly think we're going to let the Gestapo get away with it? You know, was it Quentin Tarantino? These guys in Hollywood, they write these fantasy movies. What they would do to the Nazis, all these fantasy movies, that wasn't done to the Nazis, all these fantasy movies, like little 9-year-old boys, let's have a fantasy movie. We're actually doing it. What you saw yesterday was nothing short of magnificent. Nothing short of magnificent.
This is Joker taking over, firing Commissioner Gordon, letting all the crooks out because Gotham was tired of woke Batman.
And for those of you on the receiving end of this, the blunt force instrument that leaves blunt force trauma, you did this to yourselves. You brought this on yourselves. Action reveals character. You revealed your character over many years because you thought you were untouchable. You thought you were impervious to all this. You treated people like garbage. You destroyed people. You destroyed families. You tried to destroy movements. You wanted to put Trump, in this aspect of it, in prison for 300 years. You wanted him to die in a federal prison. Let me repeat this. You wanted him to die in a federal prison. Haven't been to a federal prison? It's quite easy to die in a federal prison. You wanted him to die in a federal prison. Did you honestly think there would not be accountability?